Hello, everyone. Today, I wanted to talk about the reasonably new Netflix series, The Politician, starring Ben Platt. I've only watched the first 3 episodes so far, so spoilers for that. Alright, moving on. So first we're introduced to a very relatable, very down-to-earth Ben Platt, playing a character who is bragging about how he'll be the President of the United States while meeting with what looks like the Dean of Faculty in this extremely lavishly furnished office. That was sarcasm, by the way. I've never found someone so aggravating in the first 10 seconds of meeting their character. So, rolling into the intro credits, they were admittedly very cool. I got a Westworld vibe from them. And then our first character we meet is what I like to call our new Connor Murphy. Oh, that's right, politician. I saw Dear Evan Hansen. I know where this is going. So it quickly cements that Ben Platt and super hunk David Cornsweet are secret gay lovers. And in this scene, we see that Ben Platt is even more unrelatable than before, because he instantly opens with anger at his friend who was literally holding a gun and then tucking it away. I did appreciate how Ben Platt's character threatened to out someone as gay. Like, oh my goodness, this is so horribly mean-spirited. Just opening up with our protagonist just saying he's gonna be the president of the United States and then saying he's gonna out his gay lover to everyone in their high school. Very nice. Rooting for you, man. So then what happens is we have, I think, what's supposed to be a commentary on politics? They have this debate between Hot Dude David and Ben Platt's character, and Ben Platt gives an arguably pretty good response to a question about reworking old literature that has racist undertones or just outright racist slurs in them. And then they ask David's character, whose name is River, about something. It actually doesn't even matter what it was, because he completely dodges the question to talk about his suicide attempt and all these other depressing things about him and how alone he feels. And oh my god, I got such a Connor Murphy vibe from this character. Not the Connor Murphy in the way that Connor Murphy wanted to kill his entire family, but the, oh boy, he's gonna be that character in this show, isn't he? So then Rivers wins over the debate with this very sad story. After this scene, we're introed to the cancer girl, and she is being very obviously used by her grandmother. Her grandmother is just totally using her to get free trips, cut in lines, all this horrible stuff. But I must say that this girl was one of the few real people in this show. Her name's Infinity, and I get that she may be the one poor person of this main cast, but why is the entire cast character's name all ridiculous? We've got Infinity, Astrid, River, Peyton. I like to think that one of the reasons their names are all so ridiculous is because they're all super rich people, for the most part, and unrelatable anyway. So moving on, we eventually get to this scene where David's character River is in Ben Platt's house as his Mandarin tutor, and they get introduced, and Ben Platt, it's so funny, at one point he's literally hiding behind the pillar like a toddler would at company, like ducking out from behind it. It's so ridiculous. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then for literally 2 minutes they have a conversation in very mundane Mandarin, and then Rivers goes, "You look sad. Can I make out with you?" I was like, what? What is this? What about pacing? We're just cold opening into this. It looked like something would happen in a Grinder hookup. Like, yeah, we're here. Let's get down to business. You came to teach him Chinese. Come on, man. It's crazy. Oh my god. But I like to think that we have to get this suicide moving fast. So I guess that's where we're going with it. Cue next scene. Bam! Rivers blows his head off right in front of Ben Platt. It was wild. So at this point, I really did roll my eyes because I was kind of waiting for Ben Platt to do what he did in Dear Evan Hansen and take over Rivers' life. But at least in Dear Evan Hansen, when he did that maneuver, it kind of made sense because Connor Murphy's family was rich and he was trying to hook up with the daughter. But in this one, he's already a billionaire. So I guess that wouldn't work. Why would you want to take over the life of just another rich family? At this point, I was like, how can we empathize with this guy? He's just a mean person and rich. He wasn't even sad his friend died. I know this because he told me. Well, actually, he told Gwyneth Paltrow's character, so whatever. So then we move on to talk with Ben Platt's girlfriend, who just absolutely adores him. And she says, you're going to lose this election unless you can get a sympathy vote. Because Rivers' ex-girlfriend now, I guess maybe she's still his girlfriend, decided to pick up his race and run against Ben Platt to be student body president of their high school. And so, in order to help Ben Platt get some sort of sympathy vote too, she decides to break up with him on social media. I don't know if this was commentary on how important social media is to so many people these days. I kind of appreciated it anyway, though. And then she said, all I ask is that during this time, when I look at you in the hallway and walk by, you'll turn around and look back at me so that I know you still love me. And Ben Platt goes, yeah, I'll do that. He doesn't do that. He doesn't even do that. It's a look, man. What do you have to lose? Come on. Oh my God. Yeah, here's our protagonist. I'm rooting for him. You know what? At least Walter White was somewhat understandable. This guy is ridiculous. So then near the end of episode 1, he was crying about the loss of Rivers, his gay lover, to infinity, while he was attempting to schmooze them over to get her to be his running mate because she has cancer, and that's sad. So people will vote for him if his vice president has cancer. He's not even actually sad about it because the moment he leaves their house and goes to his car, he's just totally fine with it. He's like, yeah, I did what needed to be done. Like, come on, man. You're literally not even sad about this. He's the worst villain protagonist, but he's also boring. Oh my goodness. Then the twist at the end of the episode is that she might not have cancer. Woo. So then we move on to episode 2. And after the credits roll, Gwyneth Paltrow, who's playing Ben Platt's mom, is talking to her billionaire husband. And she wants to divorce him because she fell in love with her female horse riding trainer. May I just say, I'm so glad they hired her because she's actually an unironically good actor, even though she sells unregulated goop health products. You should totally look at the JonTron video. I'll link it in the description below. It's incredibly hilarious. She really does sell this rich white woman gig, though. She's actually a human and really cares about Ben Platt as her son, even though he's adopted, and she has 2 birth sons that are totally jerks. Oh, it's ridiculous how mean they are. So, back to her telling her husband about divorce. When she proposes it, he goes to attempt suicide next. And the rich white people problem continues because they made an incredible point about this guy's run from his library upstairs to jump out of the window off his multi-million-dollar dresser. And they made it a point to let us know how expensive it was. Wow, do I feel bad for these people and all their money. But I do appreciate how unabashedly ridiculous Ben Platt's twin brothers are. I don't know who these actors are, but they're freaking great. They're such jerks. And they're... oh, I love them. So, as we move on, in this episode, we get more and more hints that Infinity doesn't have cancer. And at this point, the audience is like, yeah, she's definitely fine in regards to the cancer. She may not know about it, but her grandma definitely knows. I kind of hope, though, at some future point, she actually does get cancer, because if the only people who actually have any problems in this show, it's gonna be the poor people. Let's be honest. I just need the rich people to be even more unrelatable than they already are. So as next we meet Ricardo, or as I like to call him, this show's Jason Mendoza. Have you seen The Good Place? It's a much better show. You should go watch it. I call all stupid characters Jason Mendoza's now because he started that whole trend for me. Ugh. He doesn't really show me he's going to be very smart, nor is he going to be clever. And I can't wait to be proven right. Although, I must say, the woman who's acting as Infinity's insane grandmother is amazing. Her freak out near the end of the episode was incredible. I really appreciate that she is also a horrible person who's just totally scamming people, saying that her granddaughter has cancer just to get free stuff. So then we move on through some more inconsequential scenes, and then Evan Hansen, oh sorry, I meant Ben Platt's character, has a piano number with the ghost of Rivers. Where have I seen something like this before? Oh, that's right. Connor Murphy in your last musical. Then there's some scheme where Ben Platt makes his now awake from his coma billionaire father denounce his murderously inclined brothers from the will and make Ben Platt the sole heir. Ah, the struggle. I totally feel so bad for Ben Platt. It was pretty great, though, that these twin brothers were just arguing over who was going to kill the father and their alibi. Like, they were totally going to do it, too. Man, these rich people problems. So, there the episode pretty much ends. Oh, wait, I forgot to mention his campaign crew. They're boring and don't really matter. They don't offer very much, and I'm not really expecting them to get any more interesting. So yeah, moving on. Episode 3 opens with a very homoerotic moment between Ben Platt and Rivers touching hands before Ben Platt goes out for a debate event. It's not that interesting. And then these mysterious Harvard reps return. And Ben Platt is telling them he's going to be president of the United States and how these Harvard people should let him in on his merits instead of him buying his way in. Oh my god. This is so relatable for me. I remember applying to so many colleges and being like, which one's going to get my millions and millions of dollars? Very relatable for the common man. I'm so glad that I have all these options going to Harvard and Princeton to Yale. Thanks, I love it. So then we find out Ben Platt's opponent, Astrid, is still winning on the polls. And that Ricardo is just, he's real dumb. That's it. Although I do unironically like how Andrew, he's this guy with a walker who has a physical disability. He's played by this actor named Ryan Haddad. And I think he's the only person that's aware he's in a show that no normal person can relate to. And he's totally sick of all these rich white people problems. I really like his character and I hope I get to see more of him because he's hilarious. And then we find out that one of Ben Platt's lackeys is hooking up with Ben Platt's ex-girlfriend. It's so boring and I couldn't even care less about this flat character doing anything at all. So you know how in most shows you have the protagonist in these political things kind of doing most of the things by themselves or bouncing ideas off of really interesting side characters? That's not this show. These side characters are super boring and uninteresting. So Ben Platt does some sneakery and ruins his opponent's score with some scheme that I think was kind of clever, I guess. You think that his lackeys are going to betray him, but then they don't, and they just ruin Astrid's chances of winning. And then Platt does a power play in one of his talks to the student body, and in order to reduce gun violence near them, he goes to a gun store and buys out every single gun in order to melt them down. Wow, I wish I had that much money. I could just buy my problems away. Infinity breaks up with Ricardo when we find out Ricardo betrayed her at Astrid's command. And then at the end of the episode, something interesting finally happens when Ricardo kidnaps Astrid and Ben Platt kind of gets framed for it. And that's fairly fun as a development just because something had to happen. Although I think it's kind of funny that it's a poor person attacking a rich white girl. It's very apropos of the show so far to do something like that. And I gotta say, I love that these characters have such insane lives for high schoolers. In Glee, it was over the top and ridiculous, but at least most of them kind of had high school problems, and you felt like, yeah, some of these actors are a little too old to be in high school, but it's fine. These kids literally talk about assassination like this was a show like House of Cards or something. It's completely ridiculous how non-high school-esque this show is. And I have a question after watching these 3 episodes. Who is the target audience of this show? I don't think it's for gay or bisexual men. My husband and I are both not into it. It can't be to show poor people that rich people have problems too, because the problems are all based around money and power. No real person has these issues. Maybe if more than like 2 of the characters were humans, I could get behind it. But your protagonist is an unfeeling monster who just uses and abuses everyone around him. It's so hard to invest in. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm thinking I'm gonna try to finish this show out because I want to see how much worse it can get. And I think it could be fun to talk more YouTube videos about. So yeah, that's all I had. Bye! Also, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. That'd be great.